There's a brand new Heavy Burst legendary hand cannon in the game via the Final Shape expansion, and unless you've been living under a rock, that a Heavy Burst hand cannon paired with a Lucky Pants gives you some of the highest DPS in the game for a primary weapon. Currently, there's only one other Heavy Burst in the game right now, the Warden's Law, but does the Bold Endings hand cannon have what it takes to beat the Warden's Law? And what is the God Roll? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. The Bold Endings is a legendary kinetic hand cannon and it does stasis damage. Now, taking a look at the base stats compared to the Warden's Law, you can see right here that the Bold Endings does have better base range stability and handling, so that is already a good sign for you PvP players out there. But the Warden's Law does have a better reload speed, aim assistance, and recoil direction, but it's nothing too crazy, it only beats it slightly. This weapon can be obtained over at the Pale Heart from Ghost. You can actually focus this if you have enough engrams, and it is fully craftable, so that is a good thing. And since this is a Pale Heart weapon, it comes with the basic origin trait Dealer's Choice. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of super energy. Equipping multiple weapons from the Pale Heart increases its effect. Now, taking a look at the barrels, since this is a 2-burst, you're probably going to want to spec this thing out for a little bit of stability, so that way you get both of those shots to land in the crit. Polygonal rifling is going to give you a plus 10 to stability, so that's going to be good. Also, you have small bore, which gives you plus 7 stability and plus 7 range. Those would be my 2 suggestions for PvE. And for PvP, you probably just want to spec just into range. So you can go with something like Hammer Forge, gives you a plus 10 to range. Full Bore gives you plus 15 to range, but it hurts your stability by 10 and your handling by 5, so I wouldn't suggest Full Bore. And then moving on from there, looking at the magazine perks. For PvE, definitely go with something that increases your magazine size, like Extended, Appended, or Tactical Mag. Extended gives you the biggest magazine bump, but it gives you a negative 20 to your reload speed, and the base reload speed on this is already really terrible, so don't go with Extended Mag. I would suggest going with Tactical Mag. Gonna bump up your magazine a little bit, and it's gonna give you plus 5 to stability and a plus 10 to your reload. For PvE, I would definitely say Tactical Mag is the best option, and of course, as always for PvP, you're gonna want to go with Accurized Rounds for that plus 10 in range. Now, looking at the first column of trait perks, you have Attrition Orbs, Strategist, Air Trigger, To the Pain, Headstone, Loose Change, and Rapid Hit. Attrition Orb states that dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power. If you guys got a build that revolves around generating orbs, this could work really well for you. Then next up, we have Strategist. Final blows with this weapon generate class ability energy. Activating your class ability briefly improves this weapon stability. So like I said earlier, stability is pretty important on these 2 bursts to make sure you land both shots. So if you don't want to spec into stability with your barrel and a magazine, Strategist could help you pick up the slack. Then we have Air Trigger. Increased ammo reserves. When airborne, accuracy and reload speed are increased, but target acquisition is decreased. Since this is a new perk, we don't actually have a numerical value on how much accuracy and reload speed you get, but whether it be in PvP or PvE, if you're up in the air, you're a real easy target. So I personally don't like perks that require you to be in the air. Moving on from there, we have To the Pain. While this weapon is equipped, taking damage increases handling and aim assist until the weapon is stowed. Taking more damage increases its effect. This is also a new perk, so I don't know exactly the numbers on this, but this could potentially be a very good perk to have in PvP since you're always taking damage in there, and having a lot of handling and aim assist will greatly benefit you inside the Crucible. Then we have Headstone. Precision Final Blows spawn a stasis crystal at the victim's location. Headstone is decent in PvP, but in PvE, Headstone is really nice, especially for those stasis builds. Really easy to proc on those red bar ads. Then we have Loose Change. Applying an elemental debuff to a target increases this weapon's reload speed, aim assist, and movement while aiming down sights for a short duration. To be honest with you, not really a fan of this perk. I don't really use it a lot. Let me know down in the comments if you guys use Loose Change on any of your weapons, and is it actually worth using. Last but not least, we have Rapid Hit. Rapid Precision hits temporarily increase stability and reload speed. This is a top tier perk. It's going to be good in the Crucible and in PvE. At a ×5 stack, it gives you a plus 25 to stability and a plus 60 to your reload speed. Very, very good. Now for the last column of trait perks, you have Demolitionist, Desperate Measures, Dragonfly, Moving Target, Collective Action, Golden Tricorn, and Eye of the Storm. Demolitionist is a very interesting one on this. States that kills with this weapon generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves. I'm very curious to know if Demolitionist will activate off of Headstone. Like if you get a Headstone kill and then you shoot the crystal and 2 or 3 enemies die from that crystal, will you just get a ton of grenade energy back? I am definitely going to have to do some further testing on that. Then next up we have Desperate Measures. Weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger bonus damage. So this stacks up to 3 times, and each stack gives you a 10% increase. So at times 3, Desperate Measures gives you a 30% increase to damage. Then you have Dragonfly. Precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. I've got Dragonfly on the footage in the background that I'm using. And once again, I am very intrigued to see if this procs with Headstone at all, because Headstone and Dragonfly both proc off a precision kill. So I wonder if the precision kill automatically spawns the crystal and then the Dragonfly explosion automatically shatters the crystal. That sounds pretty awesome in my opinion. Then next up we have Moving Target. Increases movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights. This is definitely a PvP perk. Then you got Collective Action. Collecting an elemental pickup or throwing a strand tangle grants a stacking period of increased damage. Every time you get an elemental pickup, it's gonna increase your damage by 20%. And in PvP, it increases by 10%, and it lasts for 7 seconds. And you can extend this duration by 7 seconds every time you pick up an elemental pickup, and it will max out at 12 seconds. So you can have a really long uptime with Collective Action. Then we have Golden Tricorn. Final blows with this weapon grant bonus damage. While this buff is active, grenade and melee kills of the same damage type greatly increases damage and duration. So at a ×1 with Golden Tricorn, you get a 15% increase to damage, and if you get a ×2 stack, it jumps all the way up to 50% increased damage. Golden Tricorn is going to be the biggest damage increase out of all these perks right here in the last column. And last up, we have Eye of the Storm. This weapon becomes more accurate and boosts handling as your health gets lower. So now that we looked at all the perks, is the Bold Endings hand cannon better than the Warden's Law? Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say no. The reason why Warden's Law is so good with the Lucky Pants is because it can roll with Vorpal Weapon, which on primary weapons, Vorpal gives you a 20% increase to damage. And although Bold Endings does roll with Desperate Measures, which maxes out at 30%, and Collective Action is a 20% increase to damage, and Golden Tricorn you can get up to 50% increase to damage, you have to actually get kills with these perks or pick up an elemental buff. You have to keep doing something to keep that increase to damage active. Whereas on the Warden's Law, Vorpal Weapon is active 100% of the time against a boss. So unfortunately, Bold Endings isn't as good as the Warden's Law, but it does have a really good ad clear combination with that Headstone and Dragonfly, or the Headstone Demolitionist, or you could even go Headstone Golden Tricorn. So what is the god roll? In my opinion, if you're going for PvP, I would say go with Hammerforged, Accurized Rounds, Rapid Hit, and Eye of the Storm, or Rapid Hit Moving Target. And then for the PvE god roll, you go with something like Small Bore, Tactical Mag, Headstone paired with Dragonfly, or Headstone paired with Demolitionist. That's it. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this new Stasis hand cannon down in the comments. What role are you going to be hunting? If you guys are new here, need more Destiny 2 in your life, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. Leave a like if you enjoy the content. Follow me over on Twitch for the live streams, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.